This hourly segment is sponsored by Garden Sense, airing Sundays 12 noon to 1 p.m.
One station making history every day.
Chicago, Chicago.
Now, Jake Hartford.
89 WKRS. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. That little drop from WKRP in Cincinnati, show in the 70s, their infamous Thanksgiving Day promotion. A classic moment in TV. Hilarious. Just that one line. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly, is a classic line. Iconic line. And the whole episode is funny. It's just hilarious. Anyway, good morning, everybody. This is going to be a fast 2 hours. Buckle up, strap it down. At 7 o'clock, we are going to have Carrie Underwood here. Will be joining us on the phone. Celebrity chef. She's going to be all over TV this week. You'll see her on most of the Chicago TV stations, but you get her first right here today. So be ready at 7 o'clock with your questions because it's going to go quickly. The next 2 hours are just going to fly by. That's all I'm going to say. And we may even talk about things we're not going to even take calls on. We're just going to move. A lot of stuff going on. Thanksgiving reminds me when my son was younger, way younger, and he was playing hockey, his club, where he played up in Orland Park, they would always have a Thanksgiving tournament. And teams would come from all over the Midwest, and they play and all that. And you see a lot of, winners, losers, and stuff. And I got to thinking about that, in that of all the times he's played, and he moved up through the ranks of different divisions of hockey, and played in this country, played in Canada, and you see all kind of people. But the one hockey memory I have was here in the Chicago area. He had a game he was going to play, but there was like a local tournament going on, and the championship game was being played before, had nothing to do with our son's game, but I was watching the end of it. And the coach of the team that was winning was a coach that my son had played against, like when he was smaller. And the guy was always kind of edgy. And his team won this game. They were now the champions. As players usually do, they drop their gloves, their sticks, wherever they are on the ice. They skate up the center ice. They're big bunch of kids, hugging each other. They're all happy. And I'm watching this, and I'm at the end of the rink, and I see the coach. Instead of going where the kids are in the center ice, he starts walking back to where the equipment is. And he starts kicking the gloves and the sticks. And he's angry. And I'm like, his team won. Wasn't even close. What is he angry about? And I made the comment to one of the fathers who was standing by me. I said, I've never seen a sore winner before. I've seen sore losers. I've never seen a sore winner. And I was reminded of that this week with the president a couple times. And his demeanor. He's like a sore winner. He's got 4 more years. He should be happy. Should be very happy. His press conference the other day, when he went after John McCain and Lindsey, I want to call him Lindsey Wagner, Lindsey Graham, about the Susan Rice thing, the Sunday after the attack on September 11th. Listen to this.
Senator McCain and Senator Graham and others want to go after somebody, they should go after me. And I'm happy to have that discussion with them. But for them to go after the UN ambassador, who had nothing to do with Benghazi, and was simply making a presentation based on intelligence that she had received, and to besmirch her reputation, is outrageous.
Petulant. I don't know how else to describe it. And here's the dirty little secret. John McCain, war hero, put up with a lot of stuff. You think he's afraid to get into battle with anybody? That he would go after a woman just because she's a woman and so supposedly easier to do battle with? No. But there were 3 senators who wrote the letter. 3. John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Kelly Ayotte, the senator from New Hampshire, who's a female. So it wasn't it wasn't like 2 white guys going after a woman. There were 3 senators, one of which was a woman, is still a woman. But it doesn't do anything for the fight they're having. So now you have all these female Democrats saying it's a sexist. They're going after Susan Rice. It's sexist. It's racist. No, she was incompetent. She was clueless. I mean, that thing about a presentation. Oh, she was doing a presentation. Oh, she went on 5 morning shows 5 days after the attack. And somehow, you remember the game, Telephone? You played a party. You get maybe like 10 people, whatever it is, and they have a phrase, and you whisper it to the first person, and they would whisper it to the second, and the second to the third, and by the time it got to the 10th, it had nothing to do with the first, whatever it was. That was like the talking points. They had the talking points that said, here's what it was. It was the Al-Qaeda people, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And by the time it went through the State Department, the Justice Department, and God knows where, it came out, oh, there was a video. Nothing to do with the video. I'm surprised Susan Rice didn't start reciting the vagina monologues on the morning shows. Well, she was going to read anything that was put in front of her? She didn't ask, or she didn't hear the president in the Rose Garden the day after the attack mention terrorism? I believe the UN ambassador is now like a cabinet-level position. She didn't call up Hillary. She didn't talk to anybody in the State Department who could have told her. And they just put stuff in front of her, and she read it? Unbelievable. And then when she comes across looking stupid, well, it's a sexist thing. It's a racist thing. No, she was stupid. You talk about an administration that snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. They're supposedly the smartest people in the world. The president is supposedly the smartest president we ever had. Put all the other presidents together, and their intelligence doesn't come up to his. Okay. We were victims. The United States were victims. The 4 dead Americans were victims. Why were we embarrassed to say what it was? That makes no sense. And everybody, except for a few Democrats, most of the other Democrats have circled the wagon. You would think they'd want to find out what's going on, what really went on. 4 dead Americans. And they're like playing games. Unbelievable. And then you've got the Twinkie people. The Twinkie people. And I was joking about this yesterday. But after all, there's going to be about 19,000 people out of work. And a lot of them are out of work already as of yesterday. And it didn't have to be. It did not have to be. The interstate people, the hostess people, are in bankruptcy. The bankruptcy people said, you know what, you got to renegotiate that contract down. The Teamsters did. Teamsters did in September. But the Bakers Union, of which there's 5,000, they said no. We're going to strike. We're not going to settle. And the company said, we're going to shut down then. They said, go ahead. Because we want this. And the company said, fine. And they shut down, and they're going to liquidate. And the 19,000 people will be out of work. And it's going to cost, in benefits, about $450 million, of which you and I will pay for that. And the dirty little secret is, if you, I'm reading a story from the Teamsters, they're upset. They said 5,000 people are affecting the lives of 19,000. And the Secretary-Treasurer of the Teamsters said, we saw the books. We had our financial advisors look at their books. We got the best deal we can get, and to allow us to do okay, and the company to try to survive. I don't know what those. He said. I'm going to paraphrase. I don't know those Bakers people what they were thinking. And you know what's killing them? And I said this yesterday. You've got a war on Twinkies coming out of the White House. And that's one of the aspects of this whole deal with the company, where the company is not doing as well as it used to because of that. Twinkies are bad for you. And if you look at the union, it's the bakers, confectionery, tobacco, and grain miller union workers. All right? Well, bakery stuff is bad, according to the White House. Candy's bad. That's the confectionery part of it. And then tobacco, of course. What the union should be doing, rather than picketing the hostess, they should be down at the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue picketing them. It's a war on their union. Anyway. Paul in Arlington Heights. Good morning, Paul.
Well, good morning, Jake. You know, you started your show with that clip from WKRP in Cincinnati. Just be aware of this fact. I think it's on Thanksgiving night on the digital channel. I think it's 9.2 Antenna TV from 9 at night to 11 at night. They're going to show 4 times back to back that episode.
Really?
Yes. So when you're tired of football, you can always change and watch that famous episode of WKRP.
Well, that's good.
So you were mentioning about interstate bakeries. As a child, I grew up in Chicago near the corner of Southport and Diversey. And just east of there was the Interstate Bakery. They would bake the Wonder Bread there. And I remember as a kid, I would walk past that factory, and I would stand right underneath the exhaust fans from that factory, and I would just...
And you were hoping you were hoping Twinkies would start falling out the windows?
Well, I was just glad to smell that Wonder Bread baking. Oh, what a smell that was. So I always have the memory of that, at least. Even though the product might be gone, I still have the fond memories of that. Well, Jake, if I can make a recommendation to your listeners, not everyone is fortunate as me and Morgan that get to listen to your show during the day from 9 to 11. But I got to tell you, if they didn't hear yesterday's show, especially that last half hour of yesterday's show, that is must-hear radio. You got to go to WLSAM.com and listen to that show, the podcast. I mean, I got such a charge when I heard that one caller, Lynn, come up on the phone there and say that she doesn't mow.
Hey. So you tell people to go somewhere and then you just give it away.
Oh, all right. Well,
right.
I say it, Jake. I laughed till I had tears in my eyes listening to that lady talking. It reminds me of the, heck, how many years has it been when they had those pictures of Dr. Laura on the internet? And I remember Don Wade would be talking about her. He almost said the same thing about those pictures.
You have a nice Thanksgiving, Paul.
You too, Jake.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
If you want to see the picture, and I'm just going to warn you right now, you're going to do it at your own risk. Go to WLSAM.com, look for the Bruce and Dad blog, and the picture is there. There's a lot of controversy about it, whether we should have shown the picture or not. Again, if you go look now, you do so at your own risk. Let me just say, it's all natural. That's all I'm going to say. 6:22 back after this.